quite sensitive, and from the reactions I'm getting on Facebook, not ever. And this is because I have seen people classify the topic as a nonsense topic. But regardless, we will still talk about it. My name is Denise Dennis Walu. How is your Tuesday going, by the way? Planning your own funeral in advance. The conversation about death, dying, and funeral or burial is not a comfortable conversation for a vast majority of us. Hence a line from Tu Baba's song, "Nobody won't buy, but then won't go heaven." Sadly, the reality is that people die. Death is a debt all men pay. Sometimes they die and they are left in the morgue for months and even years. In my community, I know of someone who was left in the morgue for well over 12 years. This was because the family could not agree on something. And some of his children were abroad and they had refused to come back and bury this said man. So that was how the person was left at the morgue for that long. How did I know? One of those days I had visited the village and I was taking the random stroll with my siblings because they grew up there. So whenever I come around, they're usually my escort. They take me around. I saw the grave and I saw the epitaph. I saw this man had died as far back as 90 something. All right. And I saw that this man was buried at around 2009 or thereabout. And I asked myself, I did the math in my head. I said, what happened? This man died clearly at this time. What happened? Why was the man buried? Say, my younger sister gave me the GZ sis. That be smart, The family then been they fight. In children, they were abroad. They didn't want to come back. And they didn't want every other person to continue with the plan. So that was how the thing stayed until I think one or two of them finally decided to come back. The guy had a very big mansion. I mean, whenever you go to every village, you see some houses and you can just tell that this man was probably one of the wealthiest men in this village at a particular time. So, things like lack of funds, no money. I have heard stories of people who had to borrow money to sell. People had to sell properties in order to afford a burial. I know someone who died since COVID-19 year 2020 and was not buried until last year April, more than 2 years after the death of this person. And while some people may think, okay, just leave the person in the morgue until money comes, you discover that this person's mortuary bill is accumulating. The disease mortuary bill, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I know two people still in that 2023. I think that was when the burial happened. Yeah, one died in 2020, buried in 2022. The other died in 2020, buried in 2023. If it's not lack of funds, it is disagreements. So the money may be there, but the family, they are in conflict. They do not see eye to eye. They do not agree. I even heard of one illustrious, wealthy son of the soil. In that case, it was a case of family disagreement. But what if you could somehow take this burden off your family? Not saddle them with, the finance. For the person who was buried in 2023, all his children had to bring something, even down to the least child who was not even a teenager. So if the child had to bring something, it means the mother of the child, because he had 3 wives, had to bring the money for this child to fulfill the obligation as custom demanded. Now, planning your own funeral in advance is not something we necessarily like thinking about. And there are plenty of us with superstitions that worry about doing it at all. But the result sees a significant weight lifted off the shoulders of your loved ones. And that's the idea. Would you have them worrying about your final rites? Or would you save them that stress if you can just plan for it and leave something for them to plan with? Death is an inevitable part of life, and while most of us prepare to avoid discussing their own mortality, I will give you a list of some celebrities that have chosen to embrace it by planning their own funerals. So let me start with some of these people. David Bowie. Even after his death, he was renowned for his avant-garde flair. He kept making waves. Bowie, who died in 2016 due to liver cancer, planned a dramatic and unforgettable funeral before his death in 2016 from liver cancer. Instead of having a typical burial, he chose to be cremated, that is burnt, alright, and asked to have his ashes scattered around the island of Bali. We have Justin Bieber, baby, you know Justin Bieber. He's 29 years old now. He has already taken steps to plan his own funeral. In an unconventional move, he expressed his desire for a solar-powered video screen and a dynamic 3D hologram instead of the traditional tombstone. Bieber's life took an unexpected turn when he was diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare neurological disorder, in June 2022. However, the singer has not only envisioned this unique final tribute, but also prepared his estate for it. Jackie Collins is one of them. She died at the age of 89. She had a different wish for her death. Instead of a traditional funeral, the best-selling author who battled cancer for 6 years wanted her loved ones to commemorate her life. And a grand celebration was organized after her cremation. She chose to be burnt as well. Where again? And Ed Sheeran. His burial site is his own backyard. He has made plans for it. He had mapped it out. He clarified that he doesn't consider it a crypt. Rather, he constructed a chapel where he envisions being laid to rest in the future. What about the Kardashians? In season 7, episode 14 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, for those of you that follow, Kris Jenner, the family's manager and mother, made a surprising revelation. She disclosed that she had purchased a burial plot at Hollywood Forever and enlisted her daughter's help in finalizing her end-of-life plans. Kris also initiated the search for her casket and acquired additional plots for her family members. Reign Angelil, that's Celine Dion's husband, she did bid her husband farewell when he died on January 14, 2026, 2 days short of his 74th birthday, following the battle with throat cancer. A private graveside ceremony took place at Montreal's Notre Dame, the cemetery, and she revealed that her spouse, with whom she spent over 2 decades, that's 20 years, expressed a desire for his funeral to be held at the Notre Dame Basilica, the very place where he had proposed to her. The list goes on and on, but let's come to Africa. Yes, someone in Africa actually thought about this in 2019. A popular South African socialite, a dancer, Zodwa Libram, she decided to go coffin shopping as she acquired one for a whooping 150,000 rounds, which equals over 4 million naira at that time. She shared photos of her purchase on social media, Instagram and Facebook. She stated that she had bought the coffin because she doesn't fear death. Because we'll all die someday, and that she doesn't want to die and it will become a problem for her family to buy her common coffin. In fact, the image I have of me is her testing herself in the coffin. She literally lay inside to be certain that it was her size. Does this coffin testing ring a bell? Oh yes. I mean, stories online last year when Mohbad died had it that they couldn't even get his size and his neck had to be bent to one side for him to fit. I'm sure she probably foresaw something like that will happen to a Nigerian artist, and she didn't want any of that. Now, this is my question to you. It is a difficult question. I know. You don't want to think about it. I know. You don't pray for it. You don't wish it for even your enemy. Talk more, your loved one. But seeing that at some point, we will not be on the face of this planet Earth, would you consider planning and making funds available for your own funeral. Now, this conversation is as dicey as the conversation of asking you if you have a will yet, because you're not thinking about dying anytime soon. So a lot of people have died. They have properties. Some people do not even know about them because they did not leave a will. And those that would have benefited from the will got nothing, sadly, because there was no will. So if you think about that conversation of will writing and all of that, also think about what your family will go through after you are gone. Would you consider it? Or, you have a mother, you have a father, you have people that will plan your burial. Was it something that you were particularly like on your funeral day, that you feel like if you put pen to paper and hand it over to someone in your family, it will help make better your transition to the afterlife? 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0002. We also have 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. I'll read from the pre-sale I have on Facebook. Like I said, I have seen a lot of comments labeling the conversation as a nonsense one. But then again, it's the sunny side where we have ethical, philosophical, and thought-provoking discussions. A call screener is on standby to take your calls first, I believe, before passing you on to me in the studio. So when you do call, the first voice you would hear will not be my voice, but out of the call screener. On X, we are at Nigeria Info PH, and our Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you. Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Charles. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Charles, are you on transit?
Yeah, I'm on transit.
Oh, okay.
Listening to the program on transit.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, because I think I can hear the waves.
All right. I know.
Yeah.
At my 28, when I was 28 years, I told my dad, I said, Dad, if I would die, I would dig my grave.
You will dig your
So
grave.
it's something one cannot run away from it. We are all going to die one day, but we need to prepare before time. But why am I going to say something here is benefits insurance. They call them tangerine, and they have provision for life insurance.
Okay.
In case you die, they can release money for your burial. So I think the first.
Wow. Are you serious? So your family will not have to run up and down. That's interesting. I cannot access X for now. Let me see if I can access on this device. But surely I will get to your tweets on X. 0817-923-0002. Nigerian folk. Turn off your radio set.
Hello?
Hi, turn off your radio set, please.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yes, so my name is Moses, coming from Yenegua.
Moses from Yenegua, you're welcome.
Yes, I like your conversation. Like for me, if I get to the age of 90 years, I will not prepare for my funeral service.
At the age of 90?
90 years.
Okay, I wish that you live...
Like my grandmother now, she died at the age of 130. We just did the burial on Friday, this past Friday.
Okay.
So she prepared everything, where they would bury her and everything. So we did the same thing as she instructed.
As she instructed. Okay, so now...
Yes, as for me, as for my own case, when I got to 90 years, I will not tell my children, maybe bury me in social place, this is where you do my better. That is all.
Okay, so peradventure, God forbid, you don't live up to the age of 90. What happens?
The children they know what to do.
Okay, all right then. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm also thinking of the fact that some people are titled people. What do I mean? Some people, because of the position they occupy, whether they are chiefs or kings or traditionalists and all of that, their burial is quite peculiar. I've heard that in some communities, before you bury a certain person, you have to provide cows. And sometimes the children cannot afford to buy the cows. Some will say you have to provide live goats. Some will say you have to provide even a dog. And then they will share the meat. But what are the chances that the family members of this person can provide these live animals that are supposed to be called for? How much is cow now? I hear cow meat is even far more expensive than chicken. So let's assume that the price of cow has gotten up to like 700,000 naira. How many of your family members, those who will be saddled with the responsibility of planning the burial, do you think can afford it? And if you can, would it seem unwise or uncalled for you to make funds available? For this South African dancer, she bought her coffin, so the coffin is always going to be there. It's a different thing when you pay. You may not die immediately, so the price of that thing may go up. But this one, the ones that you can buy and keep, does it make sense? I'm looking at the rationality behind it. She said she doesn't fear death. Some of us would love to live long, but who suffers after we're gone? After the commercial break, conversation continues.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
Now, and then after that I would move on to WhatsApp and then go back to the phone lines. Obi Na says that's a pretty heavy topic, but I think it's an important one to discuss. Some people choose to plan their funeral in advance, which can be helpful in terms of relieving the burden on their loved ones and ensuring that their wishes are carried out. There are also some potential drawbacks to pre-planning, such as the cost and the possibility that one's wishes might change over time. Toby Stanley says planning your own funeral, no matter how funny this may sound, is also very important. We didn't have any idea of our coming into this world, but certainly we are aware that one day we will leave. It's therefore necessary that we do all that we can to also ensure that when we are no longer here, every resources that may be needed to keep us to rest be made available for our children or loved ones, especially when life has placed us on good financial stability. This will for sure reduce the pains, sorrows and hardship our death may bring to our loved ones. Moyambo says people plan for everything that they don't know and are not certain that will happen, but intentionally refuse to plan for death that is sure and certain. The end of every living creature, and when it later happens, they will all be taking unawares, running into both financial and mental stress. I support the topic. Write your wills, plan your life now that you can. Uche Oyema says nonsense topic. Michael Stevens says nonsense topic. This one is something, Lord. Actually, it is not nonsensical. Just that this is one of those topics people hate to talk about, as no one wishes to die. Please, Denise, change the topic because people are afraid to die. I think I already established that at the beginning. I said it is not something that I expect everyone to dive or jump on immediately. I'm most certain that some people had their reservations when it comes to talking about death. But you who feels up to this conversation, you feel up for it, feel free to call 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 0809-030-6416. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome. Let's talk.
Mr. Zion, good afternoon to you.
Mr. Zion, how are you doing? Good afternoon.
I'm doing well. You want to hear some of fine? You want to see my custom?
Oh my God. Just go ahead already.
Let's see what I say your account number.
No, please don't. If you send it to me, I'll pray over it.
No need now. I think this topic already talked about me and I've stated this several times. And for the benefit of this conversation and discourse, I still have to say it for record purposes. I've even told my wife, when I die, don't bury me. Don't. If you try it, there will be anarchy. There will be problem. My soul or my spirit will not rest wherever I am. I will come out with more dead people and I will cause havoc.
That's extreme. Why?
Don't bury me.
So what would you prefer?
Cremate me.
Okay.
And I will make provisions for that. If you cannot cremate me, then take my body to any profound university, which I think I'm still doing study about that.
Okay.
And keep it there for future medicals.
You would gladly donate your body for research.
Gladly for research. But if in case maybe what happened, my body cannot be retrieved, then you can now fall back to our traditional way on burying people that you cannot retrieve their body. I don't want to be buried.
What's the traditional way?
The traditional way where your body cannot be retrieved as an German, there are things we do.
Oh, okay.
We do a lot of things are done, yes. And to me, I told them the particular tree my spirit should be sent into.
Oh, wow.
It's already there, yes.
Wow.
This way, if you bury me, I will not be happy. My years of suffering, toiling, talking, advocating will go in vain. And you cannot bury me with thieves, kidnappers, armed robbers, pedophiles, bury me alongside with them in the same soil. They say dust to dust, right?
Yeah.
Let them go to that dust to dust. I want to go to ashes. That is where I want to go to. That is where I will find rest. Look at liars, thieves, pedophile, people causing problem, causing anarchy, making people to suffer unnecessarily, amassing wealth they cannot even went on. They bury them. You want to bury me with them? Which means I've joined them in causing problem. Which means I'm joining them to cause people to suffer unnecessarily. Which means I'm joining them to be pedophiles.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zion. Cremation, donating your body for medical research at a hospital or teaching hospital or university, and then something about traditional way when the body cannot be retrieved. Interesting. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
I greet you especially.
I greet you too.
Yeah, my name is Honorable calling from Nkoro.
Ida from Nkoro, you're welcome.
Already the Bible says more is our tongue.
It's all good thing for ourselves. When I reach 95 years now, I start the plan. Because life too sweet. I don't go plan now. Something will happen. Because 95 years, I started the plan. I'll set everything keep. Thank you very much, and I'll from Nkoro, my sister.
All right, thank you very much. Nigerian Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
David.
Yes.
Tinke Daniel, Imogate Construct.
You're welcome, Tinke Daniel.
Yes. This conversation, actually, I think many will dislike it, but for me as a person, I have my own part to play, which I have already started at my age, even though I am not a young man. Yes. I have told my people because of our culture, you know, that of motorcade and all, the ones that will be wanting me to spend the last card they have. I told them in my church, 1 or 2 persons pray for me, put me in the grave. What my relatives will ask me is that, will they not take you to mortuary? I said, that is your own case. Even immediately 2 or 3 persons pray and get me buried. If you like, you can call the highest musician in the world. Let them come and play for you to dance. That is not my own concern anymore. I think that is all I have to say about life or will or whatever. That's my own will I have left for my people now that I am alive. Think
Daniels, thank you. Permit me to say this. I have seen people who pride themselves, boast about how they gave their mothers or their fathers a befitting burial. They make it like a show. They call media houses to witness it. They call newspaper publications to witness it. It's literally like a carnival. My neighbor is not yet back. She said she was attending a wedding at Benin. She left since Friday. I think she's due to be back today. And she told me the burial of the person is like a week long. And some of his children are doing well. You know, there is that thing that comes with, I don't know, the possibility that someone will use your funeral as bragging right. It's the same way, you know, with people that do weddings. They try to overdo, or they try to outdo what some other person has done. So if this person used a wedding gown from this bridal person, so it's possible that people go overboard, spend millions of naira for a funeral just so that people can pat them on the back like this. Say, you try, yo. Ha! You try well. For this economy, you do burial, you spend millions. Your father will be proud of you. Your mother will be proud of you. Who remember Obi Kubana's mother's burial? I hear it was raining money in the East. Friends, associates, business partners, you name it. I heard they were killing cows. In fact, some people started using it as a comedy skit on social media. Say, see the money I went to pack at Obi. And, you know, yes, he has the power and the ability to do it. Nobody is stopping him from doing it. But when people come and tell you that your mother will be proud of you for doing this kind of burial, was it what they really wanted? If the dead had their way, do you think what you are doing for them is what they would have desired for themselves? Mr. Zion was talking about how extreme he could get. You know, he will not let people rest. He will wreak havoc. There will be anarchy and all of that. The actions carried out during someone's burial, do you think it will make the person rest in peace? I have my reservations about some of the common practices. In fact, whenever I see a vehicle that is driving in a funny manner and has 1 or 2 persons, you know, coming out of the window, I already know it is a burial. And it is risky. That's bad driving, number one. If any accident happens, you see those people that were hung out from the car window, not putting on their seatbelts. Well, you can only imagine. It's best imagined. Now, you do all of that for the funeral of someone who would never want that, who would have wanted something quiet. But you see, because they never made it known, you never know. So while you pat yourself on the back, while you use it as bragging rights, while people see you in a different light because of your efforts towards, the committal of your deceased loved one to Mother Earth, the person would have wanted something different. Planning in advance for your own funeral is the conversation. Would you consider planning and making funds available for your own funeral? Back to WhatsApp. Chief Churchill says, I have told my wife, if anything happens to me, they should bury me the same day. No need for cooking, rice, people eating and drinking. What's the need? Just put me on the ground and everybody go home. Then mourn me the way you want and the life moves on. This other one says, good afternoon, Didi. If we can prepare for heaven as Christians, why can't we prepare for our death? It's very necessary for us to prepare for our death if we have the resources, since we know that death must come someday. St. Stephen from Bonny Island. Destiny says, good afternoon, Didi. My name is Destiny and I am 24 years old, and I can tell you for free that I have planned my own burial already. I don't want to follow traditions of my people, the Kwere clan. What I want is to be cremated, and I will make provisions for that. Again, 0817-923-0002. We also have 0817-923-0003. Send your messages to WhatsApp and Telegram. WhatsApp Telegram number is 0809-306W. I just paid for a property and they gave me the documents of properties. As I reached my house just now, I was calling my wife and see where I'm going to hide those documents in case of no. She said, why are you talking like that? And I laughed. This thing called death is inevitable. Why are we behaving as if we can run? I'm no Sule, I'll send that. Nigerian, good afternoon to you. Let's talk.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is this Nigeria Info?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sorry, I'm calling from Lagos. I'm from Lagos.
Oh, wow.
And, I listened to the program that was cut out about participants from my community were in service or came to session and were talking. And the way they are solutions seems to be that all of the ball.
Hold on. You listen to this at what time? Because it's not my issue.
Sorry?
You listen to this at what time of day?
It was this one about the 8 o'clock. If I can find the
So you're calling because
I'm calling. I said I listened to the interview.
Yeah, I heard you. So you're calling now because
I wasn't satisfied the way.
Okay. Well. Hold on. There is indeed time for everything. The show you're talking about is the Morning Crossfire. It begins at 5 a.m. and it ends at 9 a.m. Now, if you had any displeasure whatsoever, opportunity was given for an interaction with you, the listener. It was best you had called at that time and not now.
I'm sorry, because I'm calling from Lagos. I'm not there.
Yeah. I'm telling you, moving forward, if you have any displeasure, it's your opinion, you are entitled to it. You should call during the show because the phone numbers are always reeled out during the show for engagement.
All right.
Yes.
It's okay. That is why I said.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Nigerian Phil, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yes, my name is Tony. I'm calling from Port Harcourt here.
Tony, you're welcome. Let's talk.
Actually, this is a very interesting topic. I work for a company. Part of what we do is that we sell wills to individuals, and we, of course, also sell what you call burial plans.
Really?
Now, the funny thing is, their burial plans are sold in Nigeria here. And we have a lot of people that buy these burial plans. But see what happens. Our own work is very, very peculiar. The burial plans we have is actually called a family benefit plan.
Oh, okay.
The essence of that plan is to avoid sea finish. That's what we say. Avoid sea finish. So all these guys that are calling in and saying if I die, throw me in the ground and cover me, all those things are not true. Because essentially the reason why they are talking like that is maybe they think they don't really have money. But with an insurance burial plan, you don't even have to talk like that. Because what happens is that if certain things happen, if a demise occurs, the policy will take care of the burial. The policy also even goes an extra mile to also take care of the family that you left behind by giving the family what you call a grocery 25,000 naira every month for 6 months after the person's burial.
Interesting.
Things are sorry.
I said this is interesting. I mean, I had no clue something of this nature existed.
Yes, I've been then again the wheels that were. You know, when you say we, they always think it's meant for rich men. You have wheels for as affordable as 10,000 naira. Look at that short. You know, so these things are there. I wish I would have the opportunity to call in or to come into benefit plan. You know, these things are very easy. You just pay for a plan depending on how much you want. You can do for 5 million and spread the payment over years.
Wow.
5 million is what we will pay you.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Sorry, so sorry. The network is not helping, but Michael Festus Anila says, is this what you people are supposed to be talking now? Rubbish. Okay. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I would have been shocked if I started this conversation and then I didn't get some of these negative comments. But we move. Anonymous says, I will be cremated when it's my time. Anyone who buries my body will see pepper, and any land on which my body is buried will not know peace. My townspeople and my husband's townspeople believe my husband and I are reincarnations of two specific people who agreed in our last life to return, and that's how we ended up in this lifetime. I have a fair idea of why I would make that kind of deal, but this lifetime had better be my last rodeo. So anyone who thinks I'm going to come back again after this one, so they try to secure that by burying me, is on a very long thing and will see negative wonders. Anonymous, send that in. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you. Okay, so I have barely 4 minutes or more. I have a recorded program coming up. I'll try on this conversation latest. Say to was goodbye. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, this is Divine. I'm calling from OG.
Divine.
Because they will not on this kind of program. Thank you.
Serious right now. Nigerian folk, good to you. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's Denise. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Isaac calling from Port Harcourt.
Isaac, you're welcome.
The last week I was talking about they have a area plan that will give families 25,000. These are the people talking problems to families. What's the essence of using people there to use money? When someone is there, the right thing to do is to put him on the ground. I quote on what I'm saying. If you look at the Muslims in their own tradition, once the person dies, within 6 hours, they let the people put it on the ground and so be. But if you look at the Christians, like me, where I come from, I'm an Indo man. So many people in Ghana, bills. So many people that I'm giving the money in clear. Become an issue. I think the best thing is just after that, put it on the ground.
Okay. So no need. Too many waste of time and waste of money. When the person dies, put the person in the ground. So I think that is what you would want for yourself. Like I said, it's not something a lot of people will like thinking about. Superstition. It's like when you write a will, people wonder, why are you writing a will? You want to die? They feel like when you think about something, you are attracting it. What you think about, you attract, so they say. So if you think about what your burial will look like, let me shock you. I read somewhere that someone planned her own funeral and attended it because she wanted to be a part of it. You know, when you die, you don't witness your funeral. So she planned it, witnessed it, so that at death, you know, she has witnessed her own funeral. Now, when you look at England, for example, the Queen, when they lost the Queen, I hope you do know that there were plans already in place long before her death. Hence the phrase London Bridge and the series of events that will precede and come after her passing, and how power will go to King Charles and all of that and all of that. To me, it feels like she was a part of it. She had planned it. It was going to happen. So, the plans may not come in terms of setting funds aside, or it may come in that fashion and form. It may come in terms of leaving standing orders for what you would want. Some people have mentioned cremation here. Cremation is simply burning the person's body. So with cremation, you don't have to buy a coffin. No. With cremation, you are not paying for a burial ground. No. With cremation, you probably may not need to gather somewhere. No. The person dies, the date is fixed, or they decide when, and then they burn the body, and then they either have the ashes of the person in a nice jar, okay, or in a nice jar, and then some people decide for it to go and be spread on a river, a moving body of water, or it's put somewhere with their picture. I know that's how some of these Korean countries, they do it. So when you go there, you see each person's picture on their jar, and what you have in those, it's not a jar. What you call it? It's a vase, yes. You vase, yeah. You see them in there, you see the picture, and that's what it is. And the mourning continues afterwards. I've had to plan a burial before. I wasn't expecting it, but it happened. And for me, it was quite easy to take decisions and make actions in less than 2 weeks after the demise of my late father, because I was his only child. I didn't set funds aside. He never told me what he wished for. But knowing my father, I sort of knew that he would not like to be kept for long. Doing what? So I didn't have to consult any elder brother or any sibling. The most I did was reach out to his family members and his church. And within my means, I was able to do a burial. Like I said, within my means. And so ended that chapter. For some people, it's not that easy. Consulting this person, this sister will say, no, I want it this way. This other person will say, no, I want it this way. And then the confusion continues. Someone says, even if I have money like Dangote, I don't have at all. Bury me the same day. Plan or no plan, just let me rest. That's all. Would life favor? Good things say others. No serious. Thank you. And that is that about that for the conversation. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Whatever you decide, it's fine. Your opinions are forever valid. On X at Nigeria Info PH and Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH.
The show continues after this break.
Alright, so geez for that. Follow me on Instagram @_Dennis. Follow my Facebook page Denise Dennis at Denise Dennis. Like I said, record program comes up at 2:55, and thereafter Rivers Today comes up at 3, and finally we'll have Hard Facts. Not finally, Hard Facts comes up with Kala Kurubat, but the Sports Gang will be here at 7 p.m. for extra time, and the day will end with Let's Talk. Sam Oracle Chinedu. Do enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back here on the sunny side for our shortest. Yeah, adios.